Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Ask Leah. In my last episode, I did a shout out asking you to send your questions through, and I'd like to say a big thank you to Scott, who sent through this cracker question through LinkedIn private message. He asked me a question, a personal question, and it's a really good one that made me reflect, and I wanted to share my answer with you. Scott asked me, Leah, when have you felt the most vulnerable at work? And was it at a high or low point in your career? This really got me thinking, and one key moment stood out. I started my business in 2010 after I had my first child, and I ran my business as a consultancy, as a communication consultancy, through until 2015. And I was in my safe space in the consultant space. I was doing media advising, communication plans, strategic work, media releases, all of that general sort of communication work for a whole host of organizations. The vulnerable point came in 2015, and it was when I ran my very first public workshop. I had done a talk for a gym I was involved in at the time, Complete Health Personal Training in Trafalgar East, and I'd done a talk at one of their events called Remove the Roadblocks, which was all about some of the challenges I'd overcome in my personal life, how I was managing to train and stay fit, even though I had 3 young children and some other challenges in my personal life. And after I did that, I started thinking, you know what, this public speaking thing, it's something I've done a lot in my corporate work. I did a lot of presentations when I was working at Gippsland Water for the Gippsland Water Factory project. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to create a workshop called Remove the Roadblocks. A workshop that goes for a few hours, and I'm going to sell tickets to it. And I did that. I ran the first one at the Hill End Football Netball Club social rooms, and I had almost 50 people come along to that. But I didn't know that 50 people were going to sign up. When I really took that courage and went, I am going to share my story to try to help others and put that out there publicly, I didn't know what the reaction would be. So it was a really vulnerable position, made more vulnerable by the fact that some people's reactions were not helpful or positive. And this happens sometimes in life when we put ourselves out there. A story that I share in some of my workshops and in my book as well was when I actually did that, someone created a fake Facebook account to troll me. And they said, who do you think you are, Leah, running workshops? What do you have to share? Why is your story so special? And newsflash, my story's not special at all. Everyone has their own stories, but I was willing to share some of the learnings from mine. Now, when that happened, when that fake Facebook account was started and those mean-spirited comments started coming in, I had that moment where it fed all my self-doubts, and I went, oh my God, should I be doing this? Is it my place to go out there and, work with people to teach and try to do a bit of inspiring and empowering as well? But I came back to who I am. I am someone that has a crack. I am someone who is driven by a desire to make a difference in people's lives and to be courageous. And because I knew what my core values were, I was able to steel myself, even in the face of that real fear and vulnerability, and feel the fear and do it anyway. And the rest, as they say, is history. That was the first of what has now been hundreds of workshops, training sessions, a book to my name that has received amazing feedback. And all of that started with me deciding to back myself and put it out there. Could it have gone pear-shaped? Of course it could. But would I be where I am today if I hadn't been vulnerable and given a shot? No, I would not. So, Scott, great question. I hope everyone listening takes something from this. Have a crack, be vulnerable. And as the beautiful poem from Erin Hansen says, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Cheers.